I was the kid in elementary school that always got picked last for kickball every day for 6 years. Let me tell you, when you're that kid that gets picked last, you don't get invited to your classmates' birthday parties. Your female classmates won't talk to you. And your secret crush, Missy Valentino, she'll laugh at you when you ask her to the 6th grade dance, which is exactly what she did. Needless to say, I had a lot of free time to myself as a child, which I spent engaged in my favorite two pastimes, watching a lot of television and wondering how I was going to break out of this vicious cycle. So by the time I turned 11, I was convinced that if I was going to shake my social pariah status, if I was going to have my classmates like me, there was only one thing I could do. I needed to become a wealthy celebrity, like the rock stars that I saw on MTV and the jet setters I saw profiled on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. For the next 20 years, I labored in anonymity, high schooler, college student, communications assistant at a DC nonprofit, and all the while, fame and fortune eluded me. So by the time I hit 30, and the tech boom of the late 90s was turning geeks like me into millionaires overnight, I decided to put that whole fame thing on the back burner and concentrate on the fortune part. Motivated by stock options and internet millionaire dreams, I took a job in a communications department at a hot DC startup. And then the bubble burst and the layoffs started happening, and our new office space became a cavern of empty conference rooms and Dash.com dreams. It was amidst this chaos that one of my coworkers arrived for work one spring morning and announced to what was left of the communications department that she was going to start a band because she had just bought a bass on eBay. And I will call that band Ass Rockers, she said. One by one, my coworkers stood up. I play drums, said one. I play guitar, said another. Their eyes turned to me. I knew this was my moment. I took a deep breath. I stood up, and I announced to everyone within earshot, despite never having been in a band before, and I shall be your lead singer. Great, she said, you're in the band. And just like that, Ass Rockers was born. Now, since we all came from communication and marketing backgrounds, our number one priority was creating a brand for the band. So even before we had played our first note together, we already had a logo, a website, and fanciful rock star alter egos that we created for ourselves. There was Misty Staines, the tough as nails bass player who founded the group, and Riff Rockwell, our lead guitarist, who shredded like his life depended on it. And there was Bison Roughbottom, a veritable rock god who had been created in a top secret government laboratory with the DNA samples of all the other rock gods that had come before him, like Robert Plant and David Lee Roth and Axl Rose. That was me. I was Bison Roughbottom. We moved all our gear into one of the vacant conference rooms, and we started rehearsing and writing songs like Tonight We Came to Rock, which was pretty much our mission statement set to music. And Et tu, Brute, which was a 6-minute sonic retelling of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. And my personal favorite, My Baby Left Me for General Electric, which was a song inspired by a woman who told me point blank she'd rather stay home watching TV than date me. We booked our first show, we updated the website, and we printed 50 t-shirts to sell at our debut performance. And that night, thanks to our marketing prowess, 250 people showed up. We sold out of all the t-shirts, and 2 people wound up in the hospital for rocking-related injuries. Overnight, I went from being the kid who gets picked last for kickball to the lead singer of the greatest rock band in the universe. And with that came all the spoils that I so desperately wanted. Party invites, women who would talk to me instead of laughing at me, and the right to wear leather pants in public. Things only took off from there. A full-page article in the city paper, sold-out show in New York City, and a high-profile gig right across the street at the 930 Club on the day our first album was released. Now, I don't know how to explain to you the feeling or the sensation of being in a packed club and having every eye trained on you, of having the crowd go absolutely wild when you pulled one of your signature moves, like humping the microphone stand or sticking the microphone down your pants. People were crazy. Or seeing guys in town, type of guys that used to beat you up in high school, now wearing a t-shirt with your band's name written across it. Or just being in a club and having people watching your every move. Like that. That type of power can go to your head. And if you're someone that lacks self-control and humility, that type of power can really go to your head. I lacked humility and self-control. As far as I was concerned, I had become a rock star. I had become Bison Roughbottom. But for my bandmates, this was all still a part-time hobby, a side project. And I resented that. If we were going to become rich and famous rock stars, we needed to keep the momentum going. I needed to keep the momentum going. Now, it's thinking like that that can lead to some really, really bad decision-making. See, the way I saw it, it was inevitable that the ass rockers were going to get so famous that we would wind up on TV. You know, video on MTV, appearance on Saturday Night Live, accepting the Best New Artist Award at the Grammys. But all that was now in jeopardy. I thought, if we were going to keep the momentum going, I needed to flip the script. I thought, if I got on TV, somehow the band would get so much exposure. They wouldn't be able to say no to embracing this rock and roll destiny. So if you happen to live in Washington in the fall of 2003, you may have seen my television debut. I landed a starring role in an advertisement for a news section of the Washington Post called The Sunday Source. Yeah, I was the guy with the really bad mullet talking about making some gazpacho for the ladies after a hot and sweaty night of rocking out with my band. And each TV spot ended with me, I am not kidding, looking directly into the camera and saying these words. Cold soup, not as bad as you think. I looked like an absolute buffoon, which was a sentiment shared by pretty much everyone and anyone who saw the ad, which was hard to miss because it was on local television morning, noon, and night. Diehard fans of the band slammed the ad and called me a sellout. Women still approached me, but to ask for my gazpacho recipe and then laugh in my face. And my bandmates, they were not happy. We're not happy, they said. And at our first rehearsal, after the ad started running, I knew I was in trouble. My heart sank, my throat clenched, and all those feelings of shame and humiliation from the kickball field came rushing back. So I guess you want to kick me out of the band, huh? I stared at them. What? No. There's no ass rockers without Bison Roughbottom. But we'd all really appreciate it if you spent a little less time trying to get famous and a little more time learning how to sing on key. No, newsflash, I never did become a famous rock star. And I admit I handled my newfound minor local celebrity status about as well as I played kickball back in the day. But the one thing I remember from that amazing ride, it finally felt great to be part of a team that, despite all my shortcomings, still wanted me on their side. Thank you much.